Hey everybody, this is Greg Gossett from Gossett Trading and Mentoring Live, and today is, let's see, Friday, July 10th, 2020. We again find ourselves in the final day of the trading week and the final hour of the trading day. Final hour is my favorite time, particularly in the last few minutes to make my final decisions on entering or exiting my swing trades. You have the large financial institutions coming in at the end of the day. They are dealing with the most money. They have very good information, smart people, best technology, and they start making the majority of their decisions at the end of the day. So I consider them smart money, and I like to follow them at the end of the day to make my buying and selling decisions. That being said, I've had quite a few day trades today. I will be going over those with you and sharing those. So anyway, thank you all for coming by today. I really do appreciate it. I appreciate you spending your time here, investing your time here, and I hope that you're getting some kind of return on your time investment. So let's take a look. Kamal is here. Hey, buddy. Good to see you. Nice chatting with you earlier today. Evan is also here. Hi, Evan. Good to see you. So, boy, the market really rallied here in the last half an hour. The Dow Jones is up 278 points, up 1.08%. NASDAQ is up 31 points, up 0.3. It was red most of the day, but has now gone positive. The S&P is up about 23 points, up about 0.75%. So, all right, listen, we've got a lot to get through today, a lot of decisions for me to make. So let's get right to it. So first of all, what I'm going to do is run the U.S. legal disclaimer. Secondly, I'm going to come back, take a look at my current positions, talk about when I bought them, why I bought them, how I'm going to manage them moving forward. I'm going to show you my day trades as well. After that, we're going to go through the board, and some of you have been kind enough to share your trades with me, so we're going to go through and take a look how those are doing. After that, we're going to get away from charts and indicators and talk a little bit about trading psychology. I think the most important part of the day, it's really the skill that you need to develop in order to become a profitable trader over the long term, is the mental game. So I do like to talk about that. After that, I have identified some potential candidates today for a potential end of day trade. Thanks to Kamal and his great scanning software that basically tallies up all the confluence and combination of indicators lining up. And so he's been kind enough to share that with me each day. So we're going to go through those three quick requirements before I enter any trade at the end of the day. First requirement, want to make sure there's a confluence or combination of indicators. That's very important. I look at each indicator as a group of buyers, and you will increase your chances of having a profitable trade dramatically if you're in the company with as many other buyers as possible. So if one indicator represents one group of buyers, then three indicators to me indicates three groups of buyers, which is better than one. After that, risk to reward is always very important. We have to make sure we keep that in mind. I want to make at least 2 times or more to the upside based upon likely resistance compared to my support below me. If I'm going to risk $100, I want to be able to make at least $200 to the upside or more. Number 3, always very important, especially on days where you have lots of potential new trades. Keep in mind what kind of positions you have. Are they correlated? How many positions do you have? You don't want to add too many. I think it's very important. Okay, and so we're going to go down through the list of candidates. I'm going to go down through them very carefully at the end of the day with a fine-tooth comb and just try to pick the very best potential trade that there is. Cleanest chart, best risk to reward ratio, most indicators, and if there's something at the end of the day that triggers, I'll place the trade at the end of the day. After the market closes, if you have any questions, please let me know. Happy to answer them for you. If you have any stock symbols that you'd like me to look at, just put them in the chat and I'll do my best to get to them and give you my opinion. If there's any symbols that you'd like me to look at before the market closes, put them in the chat, but make sure you put a star or an asterisk by it so I know it's time sensitive, and I'll do my best to get to those. And then after the market closes, if you have any additions or subtractions to the board, please let me know. But if you could be so kind and just please wait till the end of the day so that the pressure's off and I have more time to get them do them accurately. Okay, so that's the plan. So listen, going to run that U.S. legal disclaimer, and I will be back in about 40 seconds. Thank you. Here. This video or live broadcast, like all instructional materials produced by Gossett Trading and Mentoring LLC, is created and published for informational and educational purposes only. Please carefully read and/or listen to the U.S. government required disclaimer before watching this video or live stream broadcast. The video link and disclaimer text are located in the description section of this video or live broadcast, here and here. Thank you so much. Okay, hey, Frank is here. Good to see you, Frank. Thank you for coming. Nice to see you as always. Frank has a poem for us. Oh, it's a 2-blocker. Okay, I'm going to wait for his second block then. Boy, a lot going on today. Tell you what, I'll start with current positions and then... All right, let's start with the stinker. Dollar General. So I did buy, and Kamal did buy Dollar General yesterday. We had an under 50, over 50. We moved over all the moving averages. It was a false breakout from this previous low. Tried to go up a little bit and then just has gone down against the market today. My stop is a stop halfway below yesterday's bar, halfway, and ideally with the stop under 50, but right here as it is, it's lost these moving averages again. We have the moving averages to the upside. You know, this one is red, this one's a weed, so most likely going to just get rid of this one today. Disney's been a nice trade. I took Disney back on the 8th when we had this fractal break over this high with 2 lower highs to the left, 2 lower highs to the right. I guess, did we have the 520? Because Steve bought this yesterday. Interesting. Anyway, I bought it here at 116.60. It's moved up nicely. I did hit one profit target today at 118.58. It's up 1.68%. Looks like right now it's above the 1 ATR channel, which takes a lot of buying pressure to do that. So that is a good sign. MACD is positive. So anyway, and like I said, Steve Burns is in that. We almost got in separate days, but almost exactly the same price. MU. So Frank and Kamal, we bought MU yesterday with the rejection of the 200-day moving average, bullish engulfing bar, and a V1 and a close over 50 with all the a close above all the moving averages. Bought it at 49.98. Right now it's at 50.34. Did not hit a profit target, but it is up 0.72%. SPY. All right, real quick, everybody knows the drill. I do buy the SPY every day at the close. I hold it overnight. I take the overnight risk. I sell it first thing the next morning. This is based upon a back-tested study from Liz Ann Saunders every day since 1993. She's at Bespoke Invest on Twitter. 2 approaches. First approach, buy SPY at the open, hold through the day, sell at the close. Using this approach every day since 1993, you'd have lost a negative 13.9% return. If you did the opposite, which was what I do, buy the SPY at the close, hold it overnight, take the overnight risk, which is where I feel like the edge is in this approach. Sell the first thing the next morning, you would have made 634.2%. So big difference between a negative 13.9 and a positive 634.2. Past performance, no guarantee future results, that's for sure. May never work again, but if I'm going to allocate money towards a trade, it's going to be something that has an edge, a quantifiable edge. The blue line, buy in the afternoon, sell the next morning. All it's done over time has gone up, 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 up. Doesn't mean that there's not significant drawdowns. There are, just like if you were a buy and holder of SPY, but essentially that's what I am. I'm a buyer and holder of SPY, but only during the evening time. So that being said, this was almost a break-even trade. It's so close. Let's see. I bought it yesterday at 314.38 and I sold it at 314 at the open this morning at 314.26. So 12 cents loss on the trade, but that's how it goes. And I will be buying this again today. USO is up nicely today. It's up 2.29%. I did buy this on the weekly chart, so this is going to take a little longer to play itself out. I've been in this trade 3 weeks. I bought it with a higher low V1 and under 30, over 30. Bought it at 28.40. Right now it's at 29.04. So anyway, everything's looking good there. All right, before we get to the day trades, let's take a look at Frank's poem. I really appreciate him doing this every day. Oh, how stocks can allure, the outcome you can never be, Oh, how stocks can allure, the outcome you can never assure. Markets will tease with breakouts that please, or they can take you down to your knees. So trade with caution, wisdom, and lore, because so many others have been here before. Really great. Really, really great. Let me take one more pop at that. Oh, how stocks can allure, the outcome you can never assure. Markets will tease with breakouts that please, or they can take you down to your knees. So trade with caution, wisdom, and lore, because so many others have been there before. Boy, isn't that true? Thank you so much, Frank. Always appreciate the time and the effort that you put into these into these poems, these trading poems, because they are spot on and very relevant and just great, just great. Kamal says, I got to add a DKNG. Okay, let me know at the end, Kamal, if you don't mind, right? GM, hey, how you doing, GM? Nice to see you. David, good to see you. Looking forward to our lesson tonight. Number 3, so looking forward to that. GM says, hi, everyone, and Greg. GM says, check out Kirk. All right. Yep, pretty strong today. Pretty strong today for sure. 66.12 RSI. Little high for me to buy, but up nicely. Do you have that, GM? David said, see and love. Okay, I'm going to get to those, David. They are on my list of potentials. Okay, so we're going to go over those in just a little bit. All right, let's go through day trades. Boy, I had a lot of day trades. I was a day trading machine today. First trade back here, 5-minute bar. Under 30, over 30, we rejected the 250-day moving average. If it had closed below the 250, I would have just gone ahead with hopefully a small loss. I bought it here at 379.41, moved up nicely. I got out here at 381.49 with a close below the previous day's low, or previous bar's low. So let me take that one off. All right, so that was one in the win column. Then I had this V1 false breakout to the downside, close back over the 200-day moving average. I liked the trade. I got in at 381.14. My stop was a close below the 200-day, which happened right here. So I got in at 381.14. I got out at 380.89. So that one was a loser. I think. No, I've had one more loser also. Okay. Then the very next bar, we closed back above the 200-day and a V1. It was a higher low, which I liked better. Bought there at 381 even. Immediately went my way up. I was fortunate to have gotten out here when we rejected the 1 ATR channel. It was a nice trade. I didn't want to give it all up. So I got in at 381 even. I got out at 381.82. So 82 cents on that trade on Apple. Okay. And then I had a couple other trades on Apple on the fractal chart. First trade was here. Here's the high. No, I'm sorry. Here's the high with two lower highs to the left, two lower highs to the right. If in the future it triggered, it did trigger here at 382.07. Immediately went up my way, but then kind of failed, came down. The red line closed below the red line is my initial stop. So I got in at 382.07. I got out at 381.77. So that one was a loss. But then, look at this beauty right here. Here's the high. See how the alligator is sleeping? The bars are intertwined. Here was the high, two lower highs to the left, two lower highs to the right. When this bar triggered that fractal, I got in at 381.70, and it just was a monster. I got out here because the podcast was starting. I was running out of time, so I just hit the sell button. So I got in at 381.70. I got it at 383.05. So that was a monster. And then, so it's about right where I sold it then. And then on Disney, I did have one trade on Disney also. I have a regular position in Disney as well. Here it was right here. Bullish engulfing bar, 5-minute bar, bullish engulfing, V1, higher low V1, got in here, closed above the 50 RSI, got in here at 118.66 and got out here at 118.94 when we had a V1 to the V2 to the downside and rejection of the 1 ATR channel. So those were the trades. All in all, really good and profitable, and I'm grateful for that. And that's that. Okay. Dave says, yes, lesson tonight. Looking forward to that, my friend. V1, V2 lesson tonight. My favorites. All right, let's head on over and see what's happening with everybody else's trades. I had that mix up yesterday with the charts, but I went and reconstructed them all, put everybody's correct entry points and names and so forth. All right, so Kamal did buy FAS at 31.62. Yesterday did go down, but glad for Kamal that we had a nice back rally. And it looks like he's positive. He bought it here at 31.62. It's at 31.80. So that's great, especially after the big move down yesterday. Monster, Steve, Karen, and Bob did buy Monster back here at 71.32. We had, I think it was the 520 crossover was the entry. Immediately went up, kind of sideways, went down yesterday, but up today, nice V1. So for Karen, Steve, and Bob, this is a good sign that they're already in this trade, that we had a reinforcing signal here today. So they are up on that one. DDOG, Frank did buy DDOG back here on 19th of June at 84.90. 2 days it was a little underwater, but it's gone up ever since. So he is up nicely on that. Caterpillar Pincy bought this at 124.80 on June 25th. Up. Been in the profit all but 1 day, and that's up nicely today. So nice job there. Snap is down a little bit today, but Frank has had a monster trade on this. Frank has held this a long time. He bought this back on the 29th of May at 18.75. We are at 25.31, so beautiful trade there. Beyond Meat. Frank bought this back here at 127.03, moved up nicely. Last couple days it's come down a little bit. Kamal and Pinsky also bought it at 144.40, and they are down So Frank's up on the trade because he bought it a little lower. Kamal and Pinsey actually are down today on that. Dexcom, Glenn had a beautiful trade on Dexcom at 375.16, and that thing is just motored up just a little bit down today, but still up nicely. TLT, Frank did buy TLT back here with an under 30, over 30 rejection of the 6th ATR channel, 156.10. I remember a bunch of us bought that there. We all bought it. I got out here with the close below the low, then it just moved sideways. Had a nice big up day yesterday, but today a little down, but still nicely in the money for Frank. Slack, Kamal has Slack, bought it at 31.06, had a huge day. Yesterday it went down and then recovered up a little bit today, but slightly down on the day, 1%, but up nicely on the trade. AMD, Evan had a nice trade on AMD at 53.37, moved sideways, and then a huge up day yesterday. I was so proud of him. And then a little backfill today. But you see how the volume on the upside was much, much higher, Evan, and today's, even though we're down, it's lower. So that's a little profit taking. I would be concerned if the volume was higher today than it was yesterday on the way down, but it's not. MDB, Kamal bought MDB back on the 7th at 225.30, moved up nicely. Is down today though, but still up on the trade. SPY, Frank bought SPY back here at 302.52 on 629, and this has just gone up beautifully, beautifully, beautifully. So nice, Frank. Let's see. Newmont Mining. Glenn had a beautiful trade on Newmont Mining back on the 26th. Bought it here at 58.10, and it's just moved up beautifully. We did have a down day today and followed by another little down day today as well, but still up nicely. Google, Steve bought Google, I think with the 1030 SMA. Bought it at 1494.50. And it's up 1.22% today. So very nice, Steve. DKNG, I think Kamal told me that he just got out of DKNG. Looks like it pretty close to a scratch trade. And then MRNA, Frank did buy MRNA at 61.19. Had a beautiful day yesterday. Back a little bit today, but still profitable. So everything looks pretty good. Everything looks pretty good. I do see a couple a little bit underwater. So like I said, if you can wait till the end of the day, and if you have any additions, subtractions after the market closes, let me know and I will get those all set up. GM says, OMG, I was getting disconnected. I'm good now. Is Facebook rolling? I don't know. I haven't taken a look at Facebook. Up a little bit, definitely up a little bit. So there's a lot of potential candidates today. Boy, are there. We're gonna have to really go through these babies with a fine-tooth comb. But before we do, I want to spend a few minutes talk about some things outside of technicals and entries and resistance and support, and talk about the technicals of your mind, right? Trading psychology is the most important skill that you can learn. Creating a plan, you have to learn how to trade. You have to learn about entries, exits, indicators, all that kind of stuff. You do, but you do that so that you can create a plan. And after you create a plan, that is when the real work starts. That's when you have to battle yourself, angels and demons and fear and greed. And there's a lot of good Facebook and Twitter channels out there that spend a lot of time and energy putting out good posts for us to read. I mean, their words are really worth their weight in gold. And this is from our friend Stephen Burns at the New Trader Rich Traders channel over on Facebook. So if you're on Facebook, please come over and join us on New Traders Rich Trader. It's a really, really good channel on Facebook. It's a real serious one, and a lot of great people are there. But let's see what Steve has to say. Inexperience almost always underestimates risk. The more experience you gain, the more you respect what you are up against. Ian Castle. Look, this is so true. When I first started trading, I was trading a lot of money. I had no experience. I was young, a lot of testosterone. I was so inexperienced, and all I did was underestimate risk. And it came back to bite me really, really hard. I don't want any new traders to have to go through this. You know, if you started trading in end of March, you might think this is like the easiest profession in the world. And yeah, I mean, this has been a historic run, so it does seem pretty easy. But in general, in a regular market, it does not do this. And so I don't want you to get conditioned to think that all you have to do is buy loads of stock and it will just go roaring up, because that does not always work. But inexperience almost always underestimates risk. The more you trade, the longer you trade, the more you will respect risk and what can happen to you. So the more experience you gain, the more you respect what you are up against. You're up against a lot. You know, you go out into the ocean and it's nice and calm, and you're in the Caribbean and it's warm and it's fun. And if this was your first time in the ocean, you would think, boy, this is, pretty safe, pretty mild. But listen, we all know what the ocean can do. It can turn from an angel to a devil very, very quickly, and so can the market. So please don't get overconfident. Always concentrate on your position size. Always realize that when you get into something and how many shares of what you get into, that's your only decision that is in your control. After that is completely out of your control. Overnight, all things can happen. So please always be humble. Please always look at risk first. It's the most important thing to look at. And the longer you trade, the more you'll realize it is true. Okay. Evan says, EXPE thoughts. Well, it has not confirmed a V2. It would be a higher low V2, which would be pretty good. But here's day one, day two washed out day one, day three has not closed above day one's close. So just based upon where it is right now, this minute, I wouldn't buy it. It did bounce off the 50, which is positive. But it really hasn't triggered, from the way that I trade, Evan, it hasn't really triggered anything yet. So I hope that makes sense. And let me see. DKNG. I'm going to get Kamal out of that while I'm looking at it. Okay, small loss. Remember, large losses are acceptable in large wins are acceptable in trading. Small losses are acceptable in trading. Break-even trades are acceptable in trading. The math works for all of that, but what it doesn't work, the math doesn't work if you have large losses. So that was a very, very small loss for Kamal. Is that valid? It certainly is valid, right? It certainly is valid. And I'm glad to see, that wasn't working out. You got out. I mean, it's really as simple as staying in things that are working out for you and getting out quickly for things that are not. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. Steve Burns, hey buddy. Good to see you. Appreciate you being here. I hope you're doing well. Always excited to see you. Always an honor and privilege to have you in the chat. And hey, listen, speaking of Stephen Burns, I told you yesterday that Steve had just created a new e-course on newtraderu.com. I'm going to type in here. Let's see. I have launched a new e-course called Moving Average Signals using the TrendSpider charting platform. So there's part one. Part two is here. If you're interested, where it says coupon, enter MAS launch. The new price of $49 will be reflected at checkout. And then let me give you the link. Listen, if it comes from Steve Burns, it's legit. I've taken every course that he has, in addition to studying one-on-one with Steve for a couple of years, which was really great. So there's the website, there's the coupon code, and also, Steve, thank you so much for including me today on your Friday list on Twitter of people to follow on Twitter. That was very kind of you. Thank you, sir. Evan says, oops, wrong ticker. Oh, you only get one chance, Evan. All right, for you, we'll give an exception. Yeah, I like that a lot better because that is a V2. Here's day 1, day 2, day 3. Day 2 washes out day 1, day 3 closes above day 1's close. MACD went positive. We're over 50 RSI. It looks like we're over the 50 moving average. That all looks pretty good. Let's look at the weekly. You know, in the value zone, not too crazy one way or another, but in the value zone, not bad. But yeah, I do like the daily there. Let me check over here on something. Well, we're up 364 points. That's unbelievable. Unbelievable, I tell you. Oh, GM says, can you please take a look at ADT? ADT. Well, we've had a false breakout to the downside. Here's the previous range. We did poke our head down underneath, crawl back over, which is good, but it untriggered a V1. Earlier in the day, it had a V1, but untriggered. We rejected the 100. We've had issues with the -1 ATR channel, and we rejected the 50 RSI. So with that being said, with all those rejections, that I would not be interested in that based upon that. All right, let me take a quick look at current positions of my current positions. Kamal and I are in DG, Dollar General. Looks like I'm going to get out of this if it closes below halfway of the washout bar, although it is well off of its lows, so that is excellent. Disney, been very, very good. Took that back here. Looks like the 520 crossover. I didn't realize, but yeah, I guess the 520 crossover happened. Oh, that's what it was. The 520 crossover happened and it took out this fractal. That's why I bought it. Steve bought it with the 1050 EMA crossover, which does backtest better than the 520. So great. Okay, so we got in at about the same time. All right, we got in at about the same time. Hit one profit target. MU has been cranking, so that's great. Like to see that hit a profit target, but it is up 1.16, so that looks like a keeper. SPY, of course, wish I wouldn't have sold it first thing in the morning, but that's how it goes. That's the overnight plan. Sometimes you sell it here and then it goes down the rest of the day. But I'll buy that at the end of the day, and then oil up 2.4% today. So that's been a nice one as well. Okay. Steve says, thanks for sharing, Greg. Lots of interest in the new course. I'm sure everything you do is worth having interest in. You're certainly welcome, Steve. Frank says, TINA rules thanks to the Fed. I'm not sure I understand what that means, Frank. Is that a symbol we're looking at, or is that an acronym? Yeah, because I put TINA and I do not see. So I don't understand that. Maybe you could fill us in. Looks like there's some kind of rules. All right, candidates for today. Hey, you know what? Before we go through those, oh, there is no alternative. Gotcha. That makes sense. Yeah, where else do you put money, right? Hey, real quick, I wanted to share with you a little show and tell. I went on a monster hike yesterday after the market closed. It took me about 2.5 hours to get up to where I took this picture, but isn't that beautiful? Took me about an hour and a half to get home. So it was a 4-hour hike. It was a monster hike. Man, it was freaking beautiful. Isn't that just majestic? And then there is a little monument, a little pyramid that was built here. A father who lost his daughter built this years ago, and everybody keeps it up. It's kind of a good reminder. But aren't those beautiful pictures? Just beautiful. Man, I got up there. It was worth the hike. All right, that's my show and tell. Evan says, wow, yeah, I wish I had mountains like that near me. Yeah, my house is right below there, Evan. Yep. I'll tell you what, I got back from that hike yesterday. I was spent. I was almost like I was drunk. I ran out of water, although I had a full backpack of water, but it was so long. I ran out of water. I got home. I was having problems opening the fridge. He did not want me to put me in front of a trading screen, but yeah, I was spent. I was spent. Okay. GoDaddy, first one on the list. All right, well, we did have a false breakout from this low, although we had one back here, came back in, tried it again, came back over that low, back in the range. It is a V2. It did go over the 100-day moving average. It still has the the -1 ATR channel there as resistance. Looks like it did reject the 10. It's a 44.34 RSI. When I look at this, I just don't see this as a good, really, risk to reward. And you have so much resistance up here. I just don't think the risk to reward makes sense. Okay, now look, bank stocks have earnings next week. There's going to be a lot of potential candidates here for banks. So if I take one, I'm obviously going to just take one. I'm not going to take a bunch of them because the correlation's too high. But let's go through and take a look at each one. Okay, Bank of America. Well, strong today, up 5.3%. So definitely strong. False breakout to the downside and a V1. It looks like we're stuck right at the 50-day moving average. We're stuck right at the 50 RSI. Looks really strong. Volume's not that strong. I mean, I guess it's about average. So that's one to consider. ICE. I really don't see anything here on ICE. I know this came up on Kamal's scanner. Sideways motion on the weekly, which is good. We know about sideways motion. It's going to break one way or the other, right? We do know that. So that's a good sign on the weekly. But on the daily, I just don't see anything. We had that big bar down yesterday. We haven't been able to get above halfway of the bar. No MACD crossover. Stuck right at about the 50 RSI. So I don't particularly like that one. Philip Morris. It was interesting to see this showed up on the scan. I did buy Philip Morris, not for me, but in an account that I manage. Um, and it's up 3.82% today. So good for my friend Bruce because he took a large position in this, and this is up 3.82% today. Now, would I buy it here with this higher low V2? Big volatility, big up bar, big down bar, big down bar, big up bar. It seems a little choppy to me, to be honest with you. And we're right up here next to this 1ATR channel. I mean, it's okay. It's a red green on the bars. It went red to green, which is positive. But I just think the volatility has been too large here. So I think I'm going to let this one go and just hope this keeps going up for my friend Bruce. Uber Technologies, I don't really see anything there in particular. Intel, well, this makes more sense. It's a V2. It's higher low V2. Rejection of the 200 yesterday. You see the volume, just not a lot of volume today. I would expect on a big up day like that to have more volume. That would make me feel a little bit better, honestly, about the trade. So I think I'm just going to let this one go. XLP, well, man, this is an interesting one. I've been watching this all day. So look, here we have a fractal. Here we have a high with two lower highs to the left, a high with two lower highs to the right, and we have taken out this fractal. Look at the volume. This is what I'm talking about. There was volume that came into this. It's a little higher than I like to buy it here above the 1ATR channel, but we did have a close back above the 200. We did take out this fractal. We had a V2, MACD is positive. You have a lot of buying. Glenn the other day, if we look at the weekly's nice as well. Over the 50-day moving average. MACD is positive. It just seems like to me, I think Glenn mentioned this the other day, but it looks like we're having some rotation into some of these defensive consumer stocks like Philip Morris, for instance, right? So this one is a potential. I wish I would have bought it earlier in the day and got a little head start on it. Goldman Sachs, well, we had a 520 cross under, 520 cross under. We had a 520 cross under, 520 cross under. Today, we have another 520 cross over with a V2 close above the 200-day moving average and increased volume. Steve, I don't know if you're out there. What are your thoughts on Goldman Sachs? I had one loss in a row. I know Steve and Frank, I think, took it twice, had two losses in a row. It's tough to take it after you've had multiple losses, but I mean, there's a lot of signals going on here. There's no doubt about that. Steve, do you have any thoughts? Steve says, GM says, Frank says, spectacular. GM says, where did you hike? It's right behind my house, GM. I'm in Utah. Steve says, beautiful pics, Greg. Looks like a market topping chart. Yeah, that's the thing when you start trading, right? Every mountain looks like a chart. You're like, ooh, look, it's a lower high. GM says, you live in Arizona? No, I live in Utah. Steve says, did anyone or doggos good with you? No, Katie's way too old and fragile to go all the way up there. So I did the big one by myself and then came back and took her on her little flat walk. Pincy said, so what are your thoughts on GS, another 520 crossover? It's getting irritating, isn't it? Yeah, that's what I just asked Steve. Steve says, I am going to have to pass on GS due to its volatility. Oh, Steve, I lost $1. I made a bet that you were going to take it. Shoot. I mean, I understand the volatility is crazy. Kamal says, are you going to take GS? Steve says, no. GS has the tendency to double cross, no trust. Okay, so everybody doesn't like Goldman Sachs. I don't blame them. I'm going on to a less choppy chart. I feel you. My heart feels you. From a correct teaching standpoint, I think I'd have to say, if you have the signals, you have to take them. We do have earnings coming up. Listen, maybe we can buy, or I could buy XLF or Citigroup. They're both going. They're all going up. Wiener Dog. Hey Karen says GS could be a fractal if it continue. Yes, it could. There's a fractal right there. Let's go to the fractal chart on GS. Oh, that's the 5 minute. Is the alligator sleeping? It is here in the future, but currently right now, no, it's really not. It's not intertwined right in here. All right, let's get on to other things. Citigroup. All right, well, here's a fractal on Citigroup. Let's look at the, again, alligator's still not sleeping. Oops, sorry. Yes, a little intertwined, but still not perfect. Yeah, this is a tough one. Now Goldman Sachs making a run for the exits. I mean, a run up. That's Citigroup. Thing is, we do have earnings here, so this would be a hold over the weekend and get rid of probably Tuesday. Berkshire Hathaway. I do kind of like Berkshire Hathaway. See the higher low V2 we have back over the 50. MACD is positive. Let's look at the weekly. Weekly back in the value zone. I do kind of like BRKB. XLU also looks nice. False breakout to the downside. V2 just started to go positive with MACD. That also looks good. XLF. Well, XLF does have a V2 false breakout to the downside. It's going to be a little less volatile because it is an index. Red to green on the bars. V1 on the daily. Steve says, Frank says, I don't care if it goes to the moon. Ooh. Wouldn't buy it with the V8 is what you're saying, Frank? A lot of emotions today around Goldman Sachs. Steve says, mechanical traders have to take it, but I have discretionary filters. Got it. Amazon may be buying Shifty Trucking Company. SHYF Trucking. Yeah, I'm not getting involved with Amazon. That scares me. I like your other options, Greg. XLF. I agree. And the main thing, it's not GS, right? Glenn says, hi, Greg. Today I cut my short. I saw that earlier today, and I thought that because NCLH was big. That's what I mentioned yesterday. It was back at support. You'd had a nice trade on it, Glenn. So I'm glad you got out as well. BR Key holds a lot of financials. Oh, good. Thank you for reminding me of that, Glenn. So I'm going to take that in consideration. Steve Burns says, my next financial sector buy would be FAS on the 520 EMA crossover. Good back test on that one. Well, Goldman Sachs just running away here. I'll tell you what. I am going to go with BRKB. Has some financials. The financial charts looked okay, but it has other things other than financials. And I do like this chart. It's a beautiful higher low V1. That seems like the reasonable choice for me today would be BRKB. Now, do I want to buy XLP? Guess I better make up my mind here, huh? Let me take a quick look. I'll tell you what. I am going to get out of DG. All right, I'm at a DG. Disney is a rock star, keeping that. MU, rock star, keeping that. SPY, buying after the close, or buying at the close. Tell you what, I'm going to buy BRKB and XLU. BRKB with the nice higher low V2 over 50 MACD positive. XLU just to have, looks like there's some moves in the utility here. But it's a nice higher low. It's a nice higher low V2 with the false breakout. Red to green, red bar to green bar, which is always good. So that is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go with BRKB and XLU at the close. And I already got out of DG. Gary M says no to GS. We're like an anti-GS mob today, aren't we? Frank says, I think Steve reported the BRK was 43% Apple. Okay, well, then we'll own a little Apple that way. That's good. Is it 43%? I didn't know it was that high. Glenn says, XLB top holdings, Procter & Gamble, Pepsi, Walmart, Coca-Cola, Costco Corporation. Yeah. Yep. Those are the defensive names. Steve says, I'm still holding Google, Disney, and Monster here. Yep. Monster is up nicely for Steve today. Disney, we're both in Disney, and Google is up beautifully, up 1.3% today. So that's all good. So BRK and XLU is what I'm looking at. Man, go Philip Morris. A friend of mine took a pretty large position to that. Boy, he nailed it. Glenn says Costco is an uptrend. Remember, Greg, you took... Yes, I do. I 100% do. You were 100% right. You were 100% right on that one, bud. Give credit where it's due, for sure. Is that up like a monster today? Oh, goodness. Oh, the big day was up yesterday, but still. Nice call, bud. Nice call. All right, let me see. Hope BRKB might come back a little bit before I have to buy it. XLU maybe back a little bit before I have to buy it. So I would have BRKB, XLU, Disney, Micron. I'll have the SPY and oil. Okay, that seems pretty good. That seems pretty good. So I'll go with BRKB. If the financials keep going up, we'll have a little exposure from that. So that will be good. All right, 4 minutes to go. Come on, XLP versus Monster. Well, XLP has this nice fractal. We're at about 1 3/4 and a V2. And then Monster, where am I? Oh, yeah. Me personally, I like XLP better at this point. Come on, hope that helps. Four minutes. I guess I better get to work then, huh? All right. Let me go ahead and buy a little Berkshire here. There's one. Here's two. XLU. Okay, that's taken care of. Move this here and that there. And take this DG. I took the loss on DG. PNC said I have a half position in GS, entered at 202.50, but not sure if I should buy another half. Well, hard to say. Hard to say. I considered that as well if I was going to buy it, to buy half, but I guess I'm just going to sidestep those banks right now. Frank says GS may be the first time a stock has been banned from mentioned. That's true. That is true. Yeah, it's kind of kicked all of our butts multiple times. All right, about 10 seconds left. Whew, there we go. There we go. Well, what a week. What a week. So, if you have any additions or subtractions to the board, let me know. I'll get that all squared away. If you have any questions, let me know. But before I get to that, real quick, just need to put in my daily little plug just to let and remind everybody that I do offer private one-on-one coaching and teaching lessons in the evening time via Skype. I've had a lot of students. I've had really good success with my students. I have been trading for 24 years. I've studied one-on-one with some really great traders and mentors over that time, like Steve Burns and Kerry Lavorne and Dr. Alexander Elder and Larry Williams. And the course that I teach, I combine everything that I've discovered over all my years of trading and everything that those traders and mentors have taught me. It's all in one course. It's very inclusive. It's one-on-one. It's long form. I think the best way to learn is to study one-on-one with your teacher, and not just for an hour, right? But this is 15 hours. It's 5 sessions, 3 hours total. So it's a total of 15 hours, and it's intense. I go over all my different trading approaches, but I don't just teach you, there's lots of back and forth. We do, I put the ball in your court. Break these charts down for me. Which one looks better? What's our next trade? Where's our initial entry? Where's our end of day stop? Where's our emergency stop? Where's our intermediate term profit target? Where's our ultimate profit target? How are we going to phase? Psychology, position size, all that kind of stuff. So it is $1,000. I think it's well worth it. So if you're interested, I just ask you to reach out to me. You can send me an email on, which is in the description of this video. You can also send me a message on Twitter at Gossett Trading on Twitter. And if you do reach out to me, I'll want to just set up a Skype call. It's not a sales call. I promise you that. I want you to know that right up front. It's just a discussion. So I just want to know more about you and your trading and your goals and your challenges. And it's a good time for you to ask me anything about the course. Ask away and I'll answer everything. But I won't ask you to take the course on the call. I'll just say, hey, it was nice talking to you. If you like what you heard, or if you want to, think about it, if it sounds good and you want to do it, just email me tomorrow or next week or whenever you want to set the course, and then we'll set it up. So anyway, if you're interested, let's do that Skype call. And then secondly, if you like today's podcast, I would really appreciate if you could hit the thumbs up button. It helps build the channel. Lets YouTube and Google know that there's something of value here. So if you could just do that, take a half a second, do it before you click out of here, I would really appreciate that. Okay, so let me quickly just tell you my entries on today. So let's see, and then we'll get to your addition. So SPY, I got at 317.59. XLU, I got in at 57.75. BRKB, I got in at 182.79. Okay, so XLU, $57.75. So that's a good start so far. BRKB, $182.79. So a decent little start on that one. And then Mr. SPY. Ooh, I had to buy that one a lot higher, didn't I? $317.59 for the overnight SPY. Okay. So BRKB, Disney, Micron, SPY, USO, and XLU. So yeah, all in all, good day. Really, the only one that went against was the Dollar Tree, and I got rid of that one because it was not cooperating. But all in all, good day trades. So happy for the day, happy for the week. Now, let's get to the important stuff, which are your trades. All right, so looks like we have Pincy with Goldman Sachs. the stock which cannot be mentioned. All right, so we have earnings coming up on the 15th, so keep that in mind. All right, I'll put in there 1/2. All right, so we have Kamal. On BRKB. DKNG, I got you out of that, right? Oh. No. Okay. Beyond Meat. Kamal is out of Beyond Meat. Okay. DKNG, yes. DG, yes. MDB. Okay. Got it. Oh, plus XLP. All right. Okay. XLU. Okay, got you down, Kamal. Gary says, no new trades here. Enjoy the weekend, everyone. Thank you, Gary. Let me know what you find out about your moving average readings when you talk to Thinkorswim, so we can get that squared away. Wiener Dog says, thanks, Greg. Have a great weekend. I also took BRKB and XLU. All right. Thank you, Karen. Hope you have a nice weekend. It's nice seeing you, or nice speaking to you. Okay, got Karen there. Evan says, NEXC. EXC. $37.39. Okay. Evan says, I am mostly phased out of AMD this morning when it hit 58, but still holding a small amount to see where it goes. Okay. Oh, I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad to hear that. If there's any changes, so I'll keep this up on the board. All right, so as far as your trades, Kamal's up on FAS. Steve, Karen, and Bob up on Monster. Frank up on Dog. Pinsy up on Cat. Snap, Frank's up. Beyond Meat. Any change on Beyond Meat from anybody? Wait a minute. Oh, okay. I took Kamal off. But I think I still have Frank and Pinsky on here. So if you're still out there, if I have this incorrect, please let me know. Dexcom, Glenn's nicely up on Dexcom. Frank is up on TLT. Kamal's up on work. Evan phased out a lot on the way up and this morning, so that's great. XLP is a new position from Kamal. Frank, beautiful, beautiful trade on SPY. Newmont Mining, Glenn's up nicely. Steve is up nicely on the Goog. mRNA, Frank is still up. Big day up yesterday, but you can see we did come down, held about halfway on lower volume. So that's some profit taking, which can be expected from big bars like this, right? So anyway, I think that still looks fine. I liked it. The low volume was on the downside. Pinsky took Goldman Sachs. Watch, this one's probably just going to like trend for a million years. So if it does, hopefully Pinsky, at least Pinsky will be in it. And then we have Evan with the new trade on EXC. GM says Beyond Meat looks like it's pulling back. Yeah, it does, doesn't it? All right. Okay, just real quick here. All right, so I'm going to get rid of that. There's Frank's poem. And okay, got that. GM says, I have something very interesting. Facebook monthly. Oh, I haven't looked at a monthly chart for a bit. Let's look. What do you see, GM? There's the Facebook monthly chart. Earnings are coming up. When are earnings coming up? They're coming up on the 22nd. Kamal says, Greg, what do you think of taking blue next week around the 62 area? Yeah, well, you know, this is an example of what I was just talking about when you have a big, big, big bar up on huge volume. To me, this looks bullish for the long term. But in the short term, excuse me, you know, it was just like I was talking about. You have those big bars and then you get a little bit of a backfill. You know, you get a little bit backfill. You get people taking profits on such a huge move. But you can see the bar up was huge bar up. And the volume has got less and less and even less today on this pullback. So yeah, around 62 I think would be fantastic. It'd be halfway of the bar. You have support of the 100, the 50 EMA, and the 50 SMA. Absolutely. I mean, the way I would probably trade this is if it got back down here to halfway, I'd probably switch to the 39-minute chart to look to get me into an entry a little quicker. But yeah, let's basically look at that, Kamal, next week. GM says Facebook basically load up all major pullbacks. Yeah, here and here and here and here, but the majors were here and here for sure. Oh, I want to look at PayPal. Did PayPal go up today? Oh, that's monthly. It was down. Yeah, it was down. Yeah, I was a couple days off on that one. Oh well. Facebook going to the 350 area. Wow. Well, that would That would be something. It's over $100 away. Wow, that's way up there. You know, if you can go from here to here, a lot of people would tell you, and here I take my little target shooter here. If you can go from here to here, you can probably go, see the move we made from here to here, just flip that up here and it would take you to about 315. Obviously it doesn't always work, but that's how some people think about it. One more time, isn't that beautiful? Unbelievable. That's where I hike around every day. See this little tower up here? This is the top of the ski resort. The ski resort's on the other side of this mountain. When we had the Olympics back here in, I can't remember, 2004 or something, this is where they had the downhill for the Olympics. On the other side of this mountain is just big ski resort called Snow Basin. All right, well, listen, guys, I got to get out of here. And girls, I'm going to have to go for a hike. I do have to teach tonight with David, so I'm looking forward to that. So thank you all for coming. I hope you have a nice weekend. Please go out and try to do something nice for somebody today, just a smile or a wave or a hello or just a nice gesture. If everybody would do that every day, man, the world would be a better place, I would think, right? So, you know, starts with you. Just try to do something nice every day. But have a good weekend. Be safe. Be good. On top of it, be good, right? And if you could hit the thumbs up button before you get out of here, I would certainly appreciate that. GM says, I live in Arizona around mountains like that, but now is heat wave. Can't hike now. Too hot. Okay. Yep. I used to live in Arizona as well, so I understand. Dan says, really need pad, Greg. Thank you. Bye, all. Evan says, have a great weekend. Thank you, everybody. I really appreciate you coming. I really, really do. And I'll look forward to seeing you. Have a great nighty, Greg. Thank you. I will have a great nighty. And you have a great nighty as well. Okay, that's it. So that's it. Have a good weekend. And hopefully I'll see you Monday. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye. U.S. government required disclaimer. Stock, options, futures, and forex trading is not appropriate for everyone. While there is a potential for large rewards, there is also a substantial risk of loss associated with trading. The material in this video or live broadcast is not geared towards any particular individual or to any particular financial situation and is not intended to meet the particular investment objectives of any viewer. This video or live broadcast, like all instructional materials produced by Gossett Trading and Mentoring LLC, is created and published for informational and educational purposes only. Any and all information contained in, implied, or referenced by this video or live broadcast is not to be construed as investment advice, and no representation is made that any individual or entity involved in production of this video or live broadcast is an investment or financial advisor or is registered or authorized to give any financial advice. We are publishers and educators only. Therefore, the various producers of this video or live broadcast will not accept liability for any loss or damage of any kind which may arise either directly or indirectly out of the use of any of this material, including any loss of profit. No representation is made that any account or investment will or is likely to achieve the profit or losses demonstrated. We recommend consultation with a licensed and qualified professional before making any investment decision. This video or live broadcast is not to be construed as an offer to buy or sell any security, financial instrument, or financial product of any kind. Notice is hereby given that any individual or entity involved in production of this video or live broadcast or their clients may have an interest in any security, financial instrument, or financial product mentioned or referenced. Any simulated or hypothetical performance result depicted does not represent actual trading and therefore may under or overcompensate for the impact of various market factors such as lack of liquidity.